I have read this like a dozen times, and I just keep messing up. So you know what? Heck with it. We're just going to do it live. So this is the same idea as before, but vastly different implementation. This time around, the plan is simple. We're going to get the church rather early so we can get tier 2 houses and all the important stuff, but this time without destroying our mid and late game. Okay, done blathering on. Let's get into building the village. To start off with, we're going to get the ox and the extra hitching post for the additional build speed, which is kind of the go-to for almost every start. After that, we're following it up with the lumber camp. This time around, I don't want to move the lumber camp for a good long while, so we're going to build a road into the densest forest in the area and place the camp rather deep into it. We're going to follow that up with both the hunting camp and the fishery. We're doing both so we can get the mood bonus from multiple foods as soon as that market gets set up. Make sure to set that lumber camp as a higher priority than the food buildings, as lumber this early is huge, as it can quickly become the biggest limiting factor on construction. And well, we won't be getting the mood boost from the food until the houses are built anyway, so wood is just priority. If you decide to do it like I'm doing it here, do note that building in trees is a major pain, as sometimes it tries to sticky build on the wrong roads, sometimes there's other small errors, all sorts of stuff can happen, and there's trees in the way so you don't even know why it's not building. Anyway, lumber camp done, 2 families on it, 1 for each food building as well. Then we can start to queue up some housing. Like I've said on every build order or guide I've done on this game, make sure you have one of your early burgages as a veggie burgage with the extra long lot, because the food it can produce is absolutely insane. As I plan to build my village center near here, the other 4 are going to be short burgages, just big enough for the shed so I can do chicken coops or whatever I need later. After there's enough wood to get the 5 burgages, I pull one of the families off the lumber camp to speed up all the construction. Next up, we throw down a saw pit with low priority. Our focus right now is to get the houses done, so we stop hemorrhaging happiness and can start getting people to move in. Also remember the family expansion on the veggie lot as it goes up, because it means more people managing that garden. This is going to be a dead zone for building for a minute or two while everything finishes, so now is the time to build roads, plan out where you're going to put your church, gussy things up, or as it seems I tend to do, just depressingly stare at the little ants scurrying about. I then throw down a granary and set it to very low priority. I don't want it to actually finish anytime soon, but getting the wood to it and getting everything there so that we can just flick it to high priority and get it done as soon as we do need it is really nice. We're also going to set down a storehouse and set that to low priority, so that it's prioritized after we build the saw pit. As the saw pit finishes, we'll put a family on it. We need to get those 20 planks to get the church. The second we get those 20 planks, we can pull the family off the saw pit. If the storehouse gets built in that time, we can put a family on it. If not, just prioritize the church. If you dummy it like I did here, it's not the end of the world. Just means you need to put one more worker on the lumberyard to get back the logs that you turned into planks. Or alternative, you cancel one of the lower priority buildings just to recoup some of the wood so you're able to get the church up immediately and then place down the other building while the church is constructing, because you'll have time, you'll be getting extra resources, everything's going on. Don't worry about it. Alright, so now the church is starting to go up. We have another dead zone. You can start throwing down roads, other long-term planning. This is the time to get nice, gussy everything up, fix all the odds and ends, all that. We want to get the house done immediately after the church, as we are likely to have our 6th family moving in while the church is constructing, and we want space so we can start to get progress towards that 7th. This is also the time to drop down a tannery. We want it to finish after the first burgage is built and prioritize it thusly. For the last of the major needs, we have heating, so we are going to put down the woodcutter's lodge in this instance. We are going to move from working on housing projects to military as soon as we can, so we are going to queue up a bloomery and a mine to be built once that woodcutter is done. When the woodcutter is done, then we can start getting our tier 2 housing. Upon completing them, we'll get our 2nd tech point. We are going to change one of the tier 2 houses to a blacksmith and the other to the jointer shop. As our population is still rather low at this point, we're going to just use 1 family for metal production, keeping them on the mine while we have excess steel bars, and then moving them to moving them onto the bloomer as our bars get low. The same will happen with the lumber worker, who's going to be bounced back and forth between lumber and the saw pit until we get more families moving in. If you're quick on the draw, there may be a short period where you're bouncing 1 family between the 4 positions. This is annoying to do, but ultimately it's fine. It shouldn't be too long before you get your 8th family and things start to go real smooth. The spears and tall shields produce rather quickly, even with the families being ping-ponged for the sake of acquiring the resources. And as families move into the village, we will have to keep an eye on the amount of homes provided. There always needs to be an extra home or 2 for the sake of expansion. To keep up with logging efficiency, I'm replacing the logging camp into a nearby forest. As our population increases, we'll be needing to run a few of them anyways. And yeah, that's about it. That's it. that's all the buildings placed. It's gonna take some time to build them all, but everything's cute, everything's planned, now we just have to wait. Starting the new year, we have a town of 13 families, a possible militia of 26, decent happiness, and for the most part, our resources are relatively balanced. If you guys want to see any more guides or things, just say the word, because, well, these videos are fun to make. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the guide. That's all for now. Bye, Z's.